All right. Welcome to yet again another episode of the Mod Pod. I'm your host, as always, Albert Delgado, and with me is Mr. Jose.
What's going on, man? Been a little bit of a rough week, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of a rough week. Some good and some bad, which we'll get into. So we're going to, of course, we focus primarily on the Cowboys and Bears. We're going to get into our week one thoughts, what we liked, what we didn't like. Going to preview a little bit of week two. Talk a little bit of our own fantasy lives, what's going on with fantasy football for ourselves. And then we'll give the week two Pickems for the remaining slate of the games. Just give you our thoughts on who may come up with a dub, who's escaping, who's going to be leaving with an L in some cases. So, let's run it back for week one. You want to top it off since the Bears are kind of more fresh in recent memory for right now?
I mean, before we start talking about the Bears and the Dallas Cowboys, can we first at least start it off right and open up some beers? All right. Cheers. Cheers to that. And I'm glad week one is gone. It's a thing of the memory. It's just thing of the past now. There was only, two good things. One, I like the way we started off the game. It looked like we had a little bit of tempo, but Andy Dalton's going to do what Andy Dalton does best, and he threw a pick in the red zone. And I think from that spot on, the game was over. The game was over for us.
Yeah, you got to go with, what we've been seeing a lot on Twitter is, Nagy made that pinky promise to Andy Dalton that he was going to start week one, and he necessarily didn't do too bad as far as the passing goes, but he wasn't doing much as far as making things happen. When you see the little spurts where Justin Fields would step in and that mobility that he adds, especially in the red zone, that factor that he adds as being a mobile quarterback, that's two different things compared to himself and Dalton. You're not going to see a lot of Dalton extending plays. Granted, he did have that one run, but it was a very clunky run, if anything.
Yeah, one of the breakout stars from that game, which I think I'm winning right now as far as our running back bet.
He's
Montgomery
in the lead right now.
is looking like a stud. 108 yards, 82 yards after contact.
Yeah.
Let's just let that sink in. That one touchdown, he pretty much had Aaron Donald on his back, and he said, "No, you're not going to tackle me. I'm going into that fucking end zone." Yeah. So that right there was, one of my highlights of the game. I think he's going to have a breakout season. And I'm glad that you brought up my QB1, Justin Fields. I don't really like that they had these options for him, these packages towards like the red zone where it's just handing the ball off. Like he's not built for this. If you're going to put him in week one for a little bit of these surprise packages, let this kid sling it. You got to free him. And on that note, this is
free Justin. All right.
Hey, free Brittany. Brittany's free now. Free fucking Justin. Do you hear me, Matt Nagy? You POS. Free my boy. He just wants to play.
I think all of Bears fans can get behind on that. That's all I saw throughout Twitter during that entire game was, Matt Nagy's decision to stay with Dalton, who wasn't really doing much for the offense as far as making things happen. But yeah, David Montgomery, though, looked nice as a running back. Looked really good. 6.8 yards per carry he was averaging. He's in our bet right now. He's light years away. Zeke only had 33 yards in their game. So you got a good buffer right now already in week one. You got a good buffer. Good head start.
Yeah, but, when Matt Nagy says that he's going with the person that gives you the best chance to win, Andy Dalton didn't throw for more than 10 yards the whole fucking game. Yeah. So let the kid eat.
That's just something he said. He has to say to save face for. We all know what it was. It was the pinky promise that he was going to have him start. He didn't want to bench him right off the bat after all the stuff going on. And then you got the fans even booing him and everything. I don't know.
I honestly thought that we had a chance. Definitely if Fields is on the field, this kid could have totally turned the game around. this just seemed like the same Bears from last year.
I was a little surprised with the defensive play. I expected a little bit more out of him, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that you're looking for someone on defense. I don't know if you could see that.
Let me zoom that in over here.
Yeah, my boy Eddie Jackson.
This guy came prepared with everything today.
He's fucking missing. I don't know where this kid's at. Can someone put out a fucking APB on him? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. No, I was surprised by the lack of defense in that game from you guys.
None.
What about receiver corps? If anything, what did you like from the receiver corps? Of course, besides, Robinson not getting used.
Well, I really didn't see anything from the receiver corps because we have like 3 to 4 receivers that run a 4.4 that are only catching 10-yard bombs.
Yeah.
10 yards. Like, it's a waste. We would have been able to fucking burn these guys, I think. But the plays that were called that didn't go past 15 yards, I mean, Ramsey just ate us up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a waste of Allen Robinson's time, Jimmy Graham's time, Cole Kmet's time, Justin Fields' time, like everybody's fucking time. Everything was just a wash week 1. This was our time to at least get one game up from everyone else in our division, and we dropped the ball. Everyone else choked. Like, our whole division choked. Like, was a sad week. It was a sad opener. It brought me back to, like, mid-season form. The disappointment, the alcohol consumption. Like, I'm ready. I'm
already there.
I'm there.
So, realistically, when do you think you guys are going to see Fields as the actual true starter? How long do you think Nagy is going to keep this shtick up? Like, I mean, this is his last year, make or break. What he does this year is going to be dependent if he has a job or not.
The clock had a little bit more time if Andy Dalton would have performed. With that debacle that we saw on national television, that clock just got reduced, by a lot. And I think that if Andy Dalton struggles the first half of Sunday's game, the Boo Birds are going to come out. The Chicago fans are ready for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
They don't want to play around anymore. They want to win right now. And if the Bears want to win right now,
free the man, Justin.
Let this kid eat.
Well, on the opposite side of the ball, just to talk about a little bit about the Rams. I guess, one big key takeaway was how good Stafford looks in that offense.
Man. He's a bad man.
Yeah, I mean, compared from the Lions organization where they never really truly built anybody around him. They kind of just let him just drift afloat, just gave him a receiver every once in a while. I mean, he had Megatron for the longest time, but still no other pieces that were built necessarily around for the rest of that offense. And then now he steps in where he has tons of weapons at his disposal, and he makes use of each and every one of them.
No, I've never even seen Matt Stafford smile like that before. He didn't spend any time on the floor. Like, the kid was like he was in a playground just chunking the ball up.
He legit looked rejuvenated. He looks like a brand new quarterback.
Like, if he was like his rookie season, just balling out. And I do want to point out, anyone that picked up Cooper Kupp, woo! I see some like Tom Brady and fucking Jules type action where that's his security blanket. This combo, Stafford and Kupp, are going to be explosive. And
yeah, I mean, 7 catches, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. That's his go-to guy already off of there. And I think there's a little bit more upside too for those that may have gotten Tyler Higbee. It looks like he's getting a lot more usage with Stafford at the helm. So, yeah, the Rams now, I mean, they're looking like a more complete team just from Goff last year to now having Stafford. I mean, that quarterback switch, best thing that they could have done, and it's already paying dividends. Yes, it's week 1, but, I mean, the way he came out flinging the ball, 20 of 26 attempts.
But wait, there's a little asterisk there.
Fair.
he pretty much didn't have any DBs out there to fucking contend. So, my boy's been missing. Like, they don't want to touch people when they fall down with the ball. They just let them get back up and score a touchdown. Like, it was just a fucking mess.
I think it's a little bit tougher for you too, especially having that primetime slot. And
and I knew
Sunday, that just makes those games that much tougher to watch as a fan.
Oh, and I knew it. My phone was blowing up. Like, it was just
our fantasy chat was blowing up with memes already. I was like, poor dude. So let's take it to the other side. Cowboys and Buccaneers. They had the Thursday night football game. They had that primetime slot. I think one of the better games to watch. Either it was this one or the Raiders and Ravens game, which was crazy back and forth to watch with those two teams. But I was already, I was optimistic. I wanted to win like most fans, of course. But me, I just didn't want them to get blown out. I didn't want that defense to look exactly where it looked last year.
Let me just interject real quick. I have to say, God damn, does Dak Prescott look good?
He does.
I honestly didn't think that it was going to be that close of a game. And I think with a couple of drops and a couple of missed field goals, this is a
field goals,
extra
points, some miscommunications. I don't know. CeeDee Lamb was kind of off that game. I mean, you look at the stat column, you see 7 receptions, 104 yards, and 1 touchdown with CeeDee. But on the opposite side of that, watching the game, you see multiple drops by the kid and then miscommunication on his routes, where there's a lot where Dak is expecting him to do either come back over to his back shoulder for some certain catches or break off certain routes different ways, and he's just kind of lost.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's just a week 1 jitters. Hopefully he bounces back. We see what happens there. But, yeah, my main concern was how Dak was going to look. Is the injury going to be in the back of his head? Are we going to see him want to be less mobile, like not wanting to take chances when he does see green? Saw none of that. The dude stayed in the pocket, took hits, absorbed them, did not even flinch when people were coming at him. He was just calm, collected, just throwing dimes
and running towards the defense. He was not scared. He was balling out. And all those guys that are hating online, like the kid is fucking light years from what I thought was gonna happen. And honestly, if it wasn't for Tom Brady selling his soul again on the sideline, I honestly think y'all could have come up with that win.
Yeah, I mean, the missed field goals, there's other opportunities in that game too. I mean, settling for field goals in the first place when you're 30 yards out from the end zone, when it's 4th and 3, just go for it. The analytics already say go for it on 4th and 3, especially when you're in that far in enemy's territory. Why not go for it? It's just there's always been that deal with the Cowboys where they can't convert, even under Jason Garrett, now under Mike McCarthy, they can't convert in the red zone. And it's just a lot of missed opportunities like that. I mean, that's the difference. 7 points versus 3 points. Easily could have put up 40 burger on Tampa Bay if they would have taken more chances or if kicks would have been made.
And I'm not putting too much weight on Zeke's performance this week 1. Yeah. He spent most of the time blocking. Like, he was putting his body at risk with some of
the fantasy people are gonna hate on the performance because, again, they're the stat sheet guys. But you look back on there, and Dak might have been back in the hospital if it wasn't for a lot of these blocks. A lot of free blitzers coming through. He's picking them up, and it was not just like chip blocks. Homie's throwing his whole body into them.
Yeah, man. Ice bath Zeke for sure after that game.
The play calling on offense though for when they realized the run wasn't going to work because Vita Vea was just. I mean, I got to give props to that guy. Monster. Dude is just bulldozing linemen like nothing. Just like bench pressing him off the line within seconds. That guy was just terrorizing the backfield. But, I mean, the play calling as far as like when they realized, okay, run game's not going to work here, and the passes, everything that they're calling, the creativity, working in Pollard in the back, all this other stuff that they had going on, I liked it. To me, that was different from what I saw last year, and I like what Kellen Moore's doing.
Yeah. No, and it's – aggressive play calling. I enjoyed it. Like, it was a fantastic game. Usually the Thursday night games suck, and man, Thursday night game was fantastic. The Sunday night game, not so fantastic. But Monday night's game, fucking fantastic. Like, football's back, And
football is back. I think this is maybe one of the best week ones I have seen in a while.
For sure. And you could see the rust on some of these games. Yeah. But fantasy-wise, not worried about Zeke. He was protecting his BFF, and I understand that. I respect that.
We'll get some better matchups for him. We'll see what happens there. On the defensive side of the ball, Anthony Brown, we got a problem there. I mean, because you let Antonio Brown toast you up, my guy.
Hey, it's Antonio Brown. He had a full offseason with Tom Brady.
No mental breakdowns either.
Don't underestimate Antonio Brown. He's a little crazy, yes, but the guy's smooth on the field, man.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of Micah Parsons. Again, week one for the rookie. There was a few key areas that he could have, played a little bit better in, especially on that short pass. I think it was to Evans on the sideline where he could have intercepted if he was kind of more aware of where the ball was at. And that could have sealed the game. But, I expected him to use him a little bit more in the blitz packages. Maybe that's going to be the case now because DeMarcus Lawrence, as we just learned before we started doing the podcast, is now going to be out indefinitely for most of the season due to a foot fracture. So who knows what happens there. Hopefully, I'm assuming the next couple of weeks they're going to see what they have as far as defensive ends go. I mean, we have Randy Gregory, who's also now on the COVID list. Who knows how that's going to affect it. But I believe Olivier Vernon's still available as a free agent. And I can't remember the other guy's name at the top of my head, but he did play for the Bills. I think he's like 30 years old right now. That might be another good plug-in. So hopefully they make some calls in, get somebody in place because it looks like Lawrence is going to be missing significant time.
What'd you think of your rookie, Parsons?
Oh, no, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, Parsons, didn't look bad. I mean, he just a little bit of play recognition just looked a little late on some things, and that's going to be, it's his rookie year. Week one, rookie year. You're going against Tom Brady.
They tried to warn him.
Yeah.
They tried to warn him on Hard Knocks that he tries to do some shit to fucking
he tried
he pokes
sometimes doing less is doing much. And
yeah.
I mean you got Brady who's getting the ball out within 2.3 seconds, so it's going to be a tough matchup. It was going to be a tough matchup. Don't
forget where Rob Gronkowski is on the field.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, and then again, that was the busted D-Law has no business covering him. And I mean, that's just Tom Brady for you. I mean, he saw it as soon as he saw it off the line. Just all right, there's my touchdown pass. Boom.
Yeah.
3 seconds, gone.
Hey, welcome to the NFL, rookie. Like preseason games. All right. Regular season games starting off against Tom Brady. That's a tough order. Hopefully there was some information that he's able to retain from this week that he could take in to next week, which I think y'all will have a dub. I mean, it's going to be hopefully Dallas and the Chargers both throw up some points. Yeah. I wouldn't mind it fantasy-wise. I have Justin Herbert again.
We can just jump right into week 2 then, and then I'll start with that. Then we can just get right into it. Before we do though, just a little bit of shout out to Trayvon Diggs though. Completely put the clamps on Mike Evans, made him non-existent in the game. So he's getting up there. He's getting up there. Yeah, like what I'm seeing from the kid. So let's go ahead. Let's go to week 2 now. Cowboys taking on the Chargers. Great defense from the Chargers. A lot of their guys are back and healthy. It's going to be another defensive concern matchup for the Cowboys. Let's see if maybe they can get the ball going now with Zeke. We'll have Zach Martin back on the O-line. Granted, they are going to be missing tackle Lyle Collins because of God knows whatever. Substance abuse.
I don't know, man.
Get it appealed. Who knows what's going on with that?
He likes the hookers, bro.
It's just weird, that Deshaun Watson, his case still not being attended to, but as soon as something comes up for the Cowboys,
they're on it.
But, that's we all know what Goodell's relationship is with Jerry Jones. We all know what that's like. Hey,
America's team is on a different level, all right? They're held to different standards. Okay?
Fair. But main concern right now is the injuries heading into week 2. We now know that we lost DeMarcus Lawrence is gone. You got safety Donovan Wilson, who's out with a groin. You also got cornerback Nashawn Wright, who took personal time today, so no idea what's going on with him. but he did take some personal time away from the field. And then you also got the other defensive end, Chauncey Golston. I think he was a full participant, but he did have a hamstring injury previously. So defensive side of the ball is a little bit banged up. But again, I think, if they get a little bit fancy with some of the blitz packages, blitz Parsons a little bit more, actually, kind of put some pressure on the second-year quarterback, Justin Herbert, I think we can make some turnovers happen again, for sure.
Well, Herbert didn't look like he was back on his shit. So
he looked a little bit rocky, but then again, he was against that Washington's defense, which they do have a stout front seven, something that's, better than what we have here for the Cowboys. So I'll give a little bit of the doubt to the Washington defense, putting that pressure on him. I mean, obviously that's what you got to do for this kid. Only going into his second year, you put some pressure on him. He's still a young quarterback. He's going to make mistakes.
Yeah. But they're still explosive. So this is going to be another test for Diggs and company. And I'm expecting high-flying, high-scoring game. And one thing that I'm just kind of worried about is that, Dallas had to travel to Florida, and now they come back to Texas, and now they have to travel to California, right? Like it's an away game. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much that plays into effect, especially this early in the season. That's one of my only concerns. I think Dak looked fantastic. I expect him to ball out this week.
Yeah, I think if it comes down to a shootout, I feel comfortable with the Cowboys being able to outscore the Chargers. Granted, they're going to be without Michael Gallup, who, again, looked good last week in week one, making a lot of toe-tapping sideline catches. Didn't look bad at all.
No.
I'm sad that he's going to be out for about 3 to 4 weeks, but
goddamn Michael Gallup, bro. I swear.
He started off so good, man.
Bit of hope in him. He does this to me.
So that means they're going to bump up Noah Brown, who has made some plays for them in the past, and I think they'll be completely he'll be competent at taking up the next man up level. You still have CD. You still have Amari Cooper, who's coming off one of the best games that he's had in a while from last week. So I'm still confident in there. Hopefully I'm confident. I just hope they just get more things going with the running backs.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can play in there. But I still, again, if it comes to a shootout, which I think it is going to come to that, I'll take the Cowboys. So I'm thinking they're going to get a dub here.
Same.
All right, so let's take a look. Bears, you guys are playing the Bengals, who's coming off a pretty good game themselves. That offense, massive, tons of weapons at wide receiver for the Bengals.
I know that
all looked good.
That makes me kind of scared because, again, we don't have any DBs out there to contend any of these passes. So yeah. I'm hoping that Khalil Mack gets in his bag. We can scare Joe Burrow a little bit. And we get to see a lot more Justin Fields. Not only a lot more, but for him just to take over that spot. Everyone else on the team, you could just see that the energy changes once he's on the field. Everyone saw it on TV. As soon as he scored that first touchdown, everyone came up to him. Everyone was excited. Andy Dalton's on the field, and it's like, we've been here before, Yeah. So I think Montgomery's going to still have a fantastic game. Joe Mixon hopefully does not have a good game. Our defense, I don't know if I don't recollect like exact numbers, but I didn't really see the Rams defense do too much damage to us. And also, I just want to add this whole storyline about the Rams defense, we don't want to have Justin behind our O-line. We don't want to get him killed. Mm-hmm. Andy Dalton did not get killed. Our O-line, even though it's banged up, we still were able to keep him upright. It's just that Andy sucks. That is what it is. But that storyline and that they keep feeding to everybody, we just want to make sure that we don't put him against the defense, blah, blah, blah. The kid's ready.
Yeah, and you got all these other, first-year rookies starting. You got Patriots rookie, you got the Jets rookie. They're all starting. They're all being thrown into the same fire.
Yeah.
Their situation is no less worse than what the Bears got going on. So might as well. I mean, this is a new way that, the football's going. There's no more of this sitting back, nurturing them, learning from a veteran quarterback for 1 to 2 years. I think all that's now going to be thrown out the window. The time has changed. The way football's played has changed.
And all these players like, well, Aaron Rodgers did it, and Patrick Mahomes did it. Like, they had decent quarterbacks ahead of them. Do you really
look at Rodgers now, motherfuckers?
Yeah, like, you mean to tell me that we're learning a lot from Andy Dalton? Like,
yeah,
stop it.
That's not a good take. Not a good take whatsoever. I mean, throw him into the fire. It's different now.
Like, they all started, and both of them have gone to the Super Bowl. The other one has won it. The other one has won an MVP. Like that, I hate it. Just let the kid ball out. And so I'm assuming if Justin Fields can come in and take over, we have a dub easy. If it's like, oh, we're just going to let Andy Dalton kind of just keep doing these 10-yard passes, like there was no aggression. It was simple. It was safe. And it's just the same Chicago Bears football that I've been witnessing for like the last 4 years. And it needs to stop.
I think it's a better defensive matchup for you guys, though, as far as the Bears go. I think it's an opportunity for that defense that they can take advantage of that O-line that's still kind of a little suspect in certain areas.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt that Khalil Mack may have a monster of a game coming in here. But let's move forward. Now let's go over to a little bit of fantasy talk. So how many leagues are you in this year, Jose?
5.
All right. So after week 1, what's your record looking like right now throughout the 5 leagues?
4-1.
Okay. Not bad. I'm only in 3. I'm a little bit in I'm 1-2 right now.
Yeah.
I'm off to a little bit of a rocky start.
In our leagues, because we're in 2, is where I took my loss. I lost by 1 point, I might add.
Yeah, that was
Derek Carr threw that fucking pick in the end zone. I was up by like 1/10 of a point.
Yeah.
So I was holding on. I was holding on the whole goddamn game until he threw that pick. And even that last touchdown did too much. So it is what it is. But I dominated all the rest.
I wish I could say the same. It's been a rocky start. A lot of the guys that I took high as far as wide receivers go, their quarterbacks just shit the bed. So, week 1 jitters, I think they're going to bounce back. I'll have to see what happens from there. But I still got a good outlook. I still like where my teams are at, and I think I'll have some more favorable matchups come later in the season, come the rest of the season. So I'm not too worried. Not time to hit the panic. It's only week 1. There's no panic button hitting.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Hey, but how about those Aaron Rodgers fantasy owners this week?
Whopping 1 point. Shit the bed. Sucks to suck.
Man, I don't know why. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with every touchdown that Jameis Winston.
Oh man, talk about surprise fantasy player of week 1. Jameis Winston. What did he throw? Like 5 touchdowns?
Something like that.
He just shredded. It's the LASIK. That's all he had to do. LASIK Jameis he's a top 10 quarterback now.
I don't know, man. That game was just a shit show, and I enjoyed every second of it. And not only that, is that it's like the first time that they've witnessed like this type of play, and it's like this has been my life for the longest that I can remember as a Bears fan. So seeing their fan base have a complete meltdown, like they're even burning Aaron Rodgers jerseys, like this is like just the icing on the cake. Is
Welcome
that
to mediocrity.
They're turning on each other and just eating each other alive right now. It's fantastic. I love football.
You had one of the most, as far as, most winning franchises. And now they go through this little turmoil of where just nothing gets going on the offensive side of the ball. First time in years that they've ever seen this. So, they get all crazy. They get rabid on Twitter. It was fun to watch. It's just like, just adding that other fuel to the fire, just poking at some of the fans is. I enjoyed it. I was like, this is what it feels like, guys.
And I have a theory. It's probably way off, but in his last-ditch effort, he still wants to get paid, even though he doesn't want to be on the team. Says, you know what? Yeah, I'll go back. What's up, guys? The last dance. Let's fucking go. Fucking jerk me off a little bit more. Yeah, that's bullshit. Don't ever say that again. But an effort to play face and just, you know what? I'm back, guys. Let's go. One more shot. In the back of his mind, he's hosting Jeopardy on the sidelines. He's checked out, and he's deliberately tanking. He's shitting the bed on purpose as a last fuck you to the organization. He's going to get paid. They're going to ship him out. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Join like a hippie cult or something. I don't know. But this man does not look like he's motivated. He's frail. I don't know. He's vegan maybe. I don't know what's going on. But I'm here for it. I honestly don't think that – I mean, let's be honest. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to turn it on when he feels like it. Right. Just right now, he doesn't feel like it.
But, I mean, that whole offense suffered across the board. Aaron Jones, trash. Devontae Adams, trash. Everybody felt the wave of mediocrity just due to how bad Aaron Rodgers was playing. Like, it affected the whole offense side of the ball. Everybody that drafted even, Adams. I mean, Adams was probably a top 10 pick. Jones was probably he was possibly a first running back pick for most people in either a 10 or 12 man league, even first, second round pick. But I mean, those are probably a lot of what people relied on. Start him, locked him in, been like, oh, no problem. Guaranteed at least minimum 12 points. I'm fine. And it probably cost him week 1.
In our league, one of our teammates picked him up back to back. It was, running back, and then he hit Aaron Rodgers on the way back.
Oof.
And I blew his ass out.
Pause.
He only scored like 93 points total, and I think I hit like 170 on him.
Yeah, I saw that a lot in a lot of my leagues. I mean, those that had Aaron Rodgers that keep at least expecting 25, 30 points from the guy. Yeah, but other surprises, Kyler Murray, diced.
Oh, man.
Just dimes. He looked amazing out there.
That was insanity.
As much as I don't really like him and I give him a lot of shit, he played very well. I mean, dude was just lighting up the defense. Another surprise, of course, I would have to say would also be Antonio Brown. Didn't expect him to still have that good. He still looked good. He was still breaking routes really good. He was still running routes really, really well, and he looked like a rejuvenated wide receiver.
Hey, speaking of receivers, a person that we were all making fun of not being able to catch the ball, Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
not bad. He over 100 yards and a touchdown.
I think he was just, it was. He set that up himself. He put that into play. Just like I don't want to have the defenders worry about myself. He was running some really good routes too. He's playing
4D chess.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and so Aaron Rodgers scored 1.32 points, and I didn't put 180. I put 140 on him. And I'll just go ahead and put this. I'll put him on blast. I don't care.
Here, let me zoom in there for you.
He needs to do better. And he was the lowest scoring player out of the whole league, I might add.
That's crazy.
Oh, and it also didn't help that he had Mozart as well.
Oh, yeah. A lot of injuries.
That's what happens when you pick Justin Fields out from under me, and you're a 49ers fan, and you're a homer, and you pick up these running backs. This is what he gets. I don't care. Let him watch it.
All right, so let's move on. Let's go ahead and just jump into the week 2 Pickems.
All right.
We're just going to give you our picks for coming up week 2. I guess we can start off with Thursday night football, we got Giants at Washington. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it sucks. It sucks that this happened to Fitzmagic. Hopefully, this isn't the end of his career. I know they said they're only explaining it to be like 5-6 weeks, but we all know what can happen within those 5-6 weeks. But there are some quarterbacks that they're able to pick up available. I don't know, maybe
a lot of quarterbacks out there.
Ron Rivera, Cam Newton reunion,
possible. But I mean, a lot of people liked Heineke from last season.
The kid balls out.
Yeah.
So I like it.
I wouldn't be mad if they stay with Heineke. He's a mobile guy. He looked good from last season. We'll have to see if that still transitions. That same confidence comes back week 2. But from here, I'm taking Washington here. They got the better defense against the struggling Giants offense, who under Jason Garrett still looks like it's going to go nowhere. So I'm going to take Washington.
Saquon didn't look good either.
Not look 100% yet. It's not.
Yeah. Man, I have to go with Washington too.
All right. So next we got a battle of the rookie quarterbacks. You got New England at the Jets, starting off the 12 p.m. slate. Who do you got going here?
I'm going to go with New England on this. They showed some life. Mm-hmm. Damian Harris looked really good. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, good running back.
So Zach looked like shit. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
He had a rocky start, but then he made up for it as the game went on. Like he made up for he got better. But yeah. I think defense may come into play here. And I don't know. I mean, on paper, New England's defense is a little bit better, but I don't know. I'm going to go Jets here. I'll take Jets. Then you got Denver at Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence already struggling right out of get-go week 1. I think everybody had, or at least bettors had Jacksonville to beat the Texans, and Tyrod Taylor surprised a lot of people with what he was doing at quarterback.
And we'll talk about that when we get down to
the
Houston.
So who do we got here? Denver at Jacksonville.
Oh, I'm going Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, I'm going to go Denver here as well. I mean, he has a lot of options as far as wide receiver goes, even though they just lost Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. But he was moving the ball around to everybody. He does not have a favorite target. If you're open, Teddy Two Gloves is going to hit you.
Yeah.
And he's looking good. He was a viable pickup for them. Granted, they still could have had Justin Fields, but hey, they're making Teddy Two Gloves work for him.
If it works, it works. And I like the team that they're building over there.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon looked good. So, yeah, I'm going with Denver.
Let's move on next to Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo coming back from a tough loss against a very stingy Steelers defense.
Yeah, I don't expect them to lose 2 in a row, and especially not lose to Miami. I expect Allen to come back hard.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills here too. I'm still not sold at Tua at the Q as a as where he needs to be as far as being number 1 QB for Miami. Yeah. Still looks a little shaky out there, so I'm going to go with the better gunslinger. I'm going to go with Josh Allen here. They're a big bounce back game. I wouldn't be surprised if Cole Beasley shows out in this one as well.
Yeah, Cole Beasley.
Then you got San Francisco at Philadelphia.
You go.
I mean, Philly got a good win week 1. Their defense played really well, but I don't think their defense is going to stand a chance against the 49ers. It's going to be a tough task for them. And I don't think – I mean, Garoppolo came out looking good. Shaky start when he first fumbled, but he made up for it. Receiver core for them looks awesome. They got a healthy George Kittle. Everything looks to be moving that way. The running back situation, even though they lost Mozart, still not losing any pace. It was going to be a running back committee regardless. I'm going to have to take the 49ers here.
Okay. I'm going to take Philadelphia.
Okay.
This is a reach.
All right, that's going to be your reach game?
Yeah.
All right, then we got Rams at Indianapolis. We got them at the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Rams. on this?
I'm gonna go with you as well, Rams. I don't think the Colts are gonna be able to stop that high-powered offense. I don't think they're gonna have an answer for that. Stafford, he's just playing his mind out right now as far as week 1 went. But I think he's gonna continue that trend. The weapons he has around him, the arm that he has. I think it'll be a blowout game against the Colts. Next, you got the Raiders at Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh, they did get the dub, but it was mostly due to their defense because Roethlisberger looked very good seasoned because he's, for him being old, let's call it seasoned. He looked very mechanical out there.
The first half was rough. I agree. Yeah. But something turned on the second half, I feel like.
Their defense.
Well, and maybe that's all you need. I mean, again, they did pull out the dub. And, Las Vegas, I'm not going to put too much weight on this win. They tend to shoot themselves in the foot a lot.
True.
So I think this win was a fluke. I mean, they got lucky with these fumbles, man.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you can say that, yeah. So you're gonna go Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders, man. They've always been a scrappy team. It's what the Raiders are known for, and Josh Jacobs not looking too shabby.
That turf toe, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That turf toe. You saw him come out every now and then, and you could see it's hurting him. So we'll see what that does. But Kenyon Drake, I don't know. This might be a good time to pick him up. He didn't look bad.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get more usage out of Waller and company. And then that other receiver that they have, I can't remember his name. I think his last name is Brandon, I believe. Damn it, I can't remember his name right now. Just forgot it. But he's not looking bad either. In the way the way that they're utilizing him, he's a big receiver too. I think he's like 6'3". But I think they might eke away the W here. I think they might be 2-0.
All right.
So then let's go on to Cincinnati at Chicago. The Bears.
There's no question where I'm going.
I'm gonna go the Bears. You can go the Bears. Yeah. I don't know, man. You're my boy.
No, it's fine.
But,
go ahead.
Until they free my man Justin Fields, I'm gonna have to go Cincinnati right here, just because, the way that they're playing, they got high-powered offense. Key factor though is if they get pressure on young quarterback, make him make mistakes. I think it would be the Bears game to win, but I'm gonna go Cincinnati here.
Sounds good.
Then you got Houston at Cleveland. Houston coming off a stellar game, getting the dub. Cleveland coming off a really competitive game against Kansas City.
Yeah.
What do you got here?
Like I was telling you this Sunday, I was like, hey, Houston is like low-key good. Like they have a bunch of veterans, and they seem to be like it's like a team of unwanted players that once they've all joined and it's all the unwanted players combined.
What's the Stallone movie? The Expendables? Really,
yeah.
The NFL version of the Expendables?
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, Tyrod Taylor looked good.
Ooh, possibly revenge game for Tyrod Taylor since Baker Mayfield did take his job in Cleveland.
This is going to be a shocker. I'm going Houston here.
Okay. I think the Browns are going to bounce back, and I think they're going to get a dub. I'm going to go Browns here.
That's safe.
I think they may put, Houston back into reality. They got a good defense, and we'll have to see. This will be a good test for Tyrod Taylor to see how well he does against a better, top 10 defense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Browns here. Next, you got New Orleans. You got Nola at Carolina. Hey, this might be a good, this might be one of the top games for the 12 p.m. slate, to be honest.
Yeah.
You got LASIK Jameis, and you got Kyler Murray, who's just been throwing dimes. What do you think here?
Wait, you're looking New Orleans and Carolina.
Oh, I'm looking at my bad. I was looking at Arizona had mixed up on me. Sorry. So it's backtrack all that. That would have been a great matchup though. So we have New Orleans at Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going New Orleans here.
You're gonna go Nola? I mean, they got a good defense. got LASIK Jameis. Everything should point. I guess this will be my upset game. I'm going to go Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey.
Like, McCaffrey's going to have a good game, but that defense is good.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I'm expecting both famous Jameis and Kamara are going to eat a dub.
So this will be my reach game. I'm going to reach Carolina for the dub here. Oh. Maybe Sam Darnold might show off that arm. All right, now you got Minnesota at Arizona. Kirk Cousins, man, I don't know about the guy. I mean, we've always, never been high on him at all.
To me, there's no question Arizona's going to fucking destroy them.
I'm going to go Arizona here. I mean, the only way that they get saved is if, Dalvin Cook just puts up 185 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't know. About all that.
So I'm going to go Arizona here. I mean, their defense looked stout. Even their front seven looked amazing. Their wide receiver core. I mean, J.J. Watt even looks rejuvenated.
I know. He was making plays. That's
there's not much else to say. He was playing some good ball. All right, so Arizona here for both of us. Now you got Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is just gonna stop them.
Yep.
Matt Ryan, that team's in rebuild mode. The only key pieces that they have is, just Ridley and Matt Ryan, who's somehow trying to throw the ball out there.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in Kyle Pitts. But
very quiet game for week 1.
But we'll see.
But, there is a suspect secondary for this team, so maybe they may put up some points playing catch-up against this Tampa Bay team. So we'll have to see. But, again, Vita Vea, absolute monster. We'll see how many sacks that guy has this game, too. So then you got Tennessee at Seattle. Tennessee, who's totally dropped the ball against the Cardinals.
Derrick Henry dropped the ball. Non-existent.
That Julio Jones, non-existent. Just no chemistry between him and Tannehill. I don't know. Yeah. And I picked up, Julio Jones in a couple of my leagues, thinking he was going to be that key piece across from A.J. Brown. But again, week 1, maybe they just don't have that chemistry down. There was all the issues, of course, with COVID, him getting the practice time and whatnot. So we'll have to see what happens. But I think it's going to take a couple weeks for Tennessee to get into rhythm. I'm going to go Seattle here.
Same.
All right. Then you got the Cowboys at the Chargers. Cowboys, as we already know, are going to be missing their top defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence. There's going to be some also other key injuries on the defensive secondary side of the ball. But like I mentioned before, if it does have to come to a shootout, I do like the Cowboys offense over the Chargers offense.
I'll go with Dallas, like I said earlier. I think that y'all can pull out this win. You have the firepower. I'm good with it. I'm good. I expect it to be a shootout, and Dallas comes up on top.
All right, next you got Kansas City. You got the Chiefs at the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to stay with the hot hand. I'm going to go with Chiefs. I think
if I just don't see Baltimore being able to keep up with Kansas City if they were barely able to keep up with the Raiders. So
I think that might be the issue. Like if they get completely blown out by the Chiefs, that says 2 things. 1, how injured and bad the Ravens are currently right now. And then 2, the Raiders are not that good if they get completely blown out.
I do want to shout out Tyson Williams. That kid had an opportunity and he took it. And
another undrafted free agent running back?
Yeah.
Similar to Robinson of last year?
He did well, man. So big props.
He's got some burst on him. And then lastly, we got Monday Night Football. Got Detroit at the Packers. Jared Goff and company with his ragtag band of wide receivers and running backs against the shaky Packers.
I don't know, man. I'll let you go first on this.
I'm just gonna stay with you got to go with a little bit of momentum. I think Detroit almost having that last quarter comeback against the Niners. I think they're going to ride that wave. I think they might have an upset here as well. Man. So I'm going with two reaches this week.
Hey,
2 reaches.
If Detroit wins in Lambeau, they're going to build a statue for that coach. For sure. But you know what? I'm going to stick with the hot hand as well, and I'm going Detroit too.
Okay. So is it more the hot hand, or is it more that you just hate the Packers?
I mean,
there's a little bias. There's a little bias in there.
I'm not even worried about the Packers because they're just imploding on themselves.
Yeah.
Like they don't need me to just dump on them either. So they're doing it all by themselves right now. Mm-hmm. They're entering a dark era that Bears fans have been living in for a long time. We have Justin Fields is like a beacon of light ushering us into the future. And now they're going to a hellhole, and I'm here for it. So it's okay. We might lose this week, but I know where my future is going. Them, not so much.
All right, so that is it for our Pickems. That wraps up this episode. You can follow us on our Twitters, which are there. I forget this is mirrored there.
Yeah.
And then you can follow the podcast itself at ModPodTX. So for that, hey, week 1 was amazing. Let's go to week 2. More football. Football's back. Jose?
Hey, good luck on your fantasy teams. I need you to be 2-0 this week. I need to be 5-0 this week just to keep that momentum going. And on that note, hit that shit, Bodie Hugh.